Hi everybody! Welcome back! Today we will be reading Splat the Cat and the Quick Chicks. We'd like to say hi to all of our friends out there, all the boys and girls, Olive, Ondine, Linda and Shane, Matthew and Renee, Ragni, Samir, and everybody else who's watching us today. Let's get started! Splat the Cat and the Quick Chicks. I can read books. Based on the best-selling books by SCOTTON. Copyright 2016, SCOTTON. Cover art by FARLEY. Text by DRISCOLL. Interior illustrations by EBERZ. A Harper and imprint of Harper Collins Publishers. Splat's class had class pets. 12 chicken eggs. Very soon they would hatch. Then they would be chicks. Look at everybody in the classroom looking at the 12 chicken eggs. And even Seymour sitting on Splat's head. Mrs. Wimpy Dimple asked, "Would someone take the eggs home to watch tonight?" Quick as a wink, every paw flew up. "We'll pick sticks," Mrs. Wimpy Dimple said. "Whoever picks the longest stick takes home the chicks." Look at all the paws up. All those kids want to take the eggs home. And there's Mrs. Wimpy Dimple holding the sticks for them to choose the longest one. One by one, every cat picked a stick. Plank picked a long stick. Kitten picked a longer stick. Splat picked the longest stick of all. Hooray! Look, there's Plank with a long stick. And Kitten, well, she's holding a longer stick than Plank. And then look, Splat in his nice green shirt holding the longest stick, and he's shouting, "Hooray!" Mrs. Wimpy Dimple helped Splat get the eggs packed up. "Just keep an eye on them and keep them warm," said Mrs. Wimpy Dimple. "That will do the trick." Oh, look at Splat. He's packaging all the eggs up, and there's Mrs. Wimpy Dimple helping him, telling him to keep them warm. And there's 12 eggs. Can you count? 6 here and 6 here. Splat carried the eggs home, slowly and carefully. No skips, no kicks, no quick, sudden moves along the way. Splat made the chicks a cozy nest in his drawer. At bedtime, Splat said, "Good night, chicks," and turned out the light. Click! See here how Splat is carefully carrying the chicken eggs, and Seymour is helping him out holding the cord for the heat lamp. And there he is at night, and all the eggs are in the drawer, and there's Splat turning off the light. Click! Good night, chicks. Early the next morning, Splat woke with a start. He felt a peck on his ear. He felt a tickle on his foot. Splat looked in the nest. The eggs had hatched. The chicks were out and about. 2 chicks on Splat. But where were the rest? Look at Splat in his bed, tucked under his cover. He woke up because the chick was pecking at his ears, peck, peck, peck. And the other chick was tickling his foot, tickle, tickle. And look, in the nest, all the eggs had hatched, but he couldn't see all the chicks. Where did they go? Cheep, 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 cheep. Splat's ears pricked up. He followed the sound and found 2 chicks in his thick, warm socks. Splat found 2 more chicks snuggled up to the clock. Tick, 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 tick. Look, the 2 little chicks in the warm socks. Cheep, cheep, they're saying. Cheep, cheep. And there's Seymour looking at them, and Splat, who just found them. And then 2 more by the clock. The clock is ticking. Tick, 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 tick. And Seymour too has found them too as well. Splat looked in his toy corner. There was a chick in the truck. There was a chick in Splat's magic trick box. 1 chick was sitting in the paint box. Eek! And there were 2 chicks in the house made of snap-together bricks. See? Splat in his pajamas. Looking in his toy corner, he found a chick in the truck. There's another chick in his magic box. Another chick, eek, sitting on the paint box, and 2 more hiding in the Lego brick snap-together bricks. And Seymour found them as well. Splat had found 11 chicks, but 1 was still missing. Splat was worried sick. Then Splat heard a peek, pack, peek. He turned around in the nick of time. See Splat looking everywhere, even in his dresser, and Seymour there as well. And look on the bed, the basket full of little chicks. And there's the other one. There was the last chick. It picked and packed at the basket. Then it hopped away. The other chicks went with it. Stop, chicks, said Splat. Splat chased chicks up and chased chicks down. Look at Splat. All the chicks are running away from the basket. See, they went up the stairs and he's chasing them down again, down the stairs. Those crazy little chicks. Chicks fell in, but chicks hopped out. What feathers drip, drip, dripped. Splat stepped into a puddle. Splat! The chicks stood all over Splat. We better go to school before you run away again, said Splat. Have you ever smelt the smell of a wet chick? See them? They're falling in the sink and then they hop back out. And then Splat went splat because he fell on the water puddle. Then there they are, oops, all around him. And even Seymour watching him and all the chicks around him. Crazy little chicks. Splat led the way. The chicks followed each move. With skips and kicks, the good little chicks got to school. Lickety-split. See Splat leading the way to school and Seymour holding the flag for the chicks to follow. They're even all of them holding on to the cord of the heat lamp as they're following Splat to school. Those good little chicks. Lickety-split. Splat's class was so surprised. Instead of 12 eggs, now they were... Look at Kitten. and Plank and Spike and Mrs. Wimpy Dimple and the rest of the class, and Seymour looking at Splat holding 12 little chicks. 11 chicks, said Mrs. Wimpy Dimple. Splat, where's the missing chick? Oh no, thought Splat. But before he could get worried sick, Splat heard a cheep, cheep, cheep. Look, Mrs. Wimpy Dimple, the teacher, counted the little chicks and found only 11. And then Splat, poor kitty, he was so worried, but then he heard cheep, cheep, cheep. That's what little chicks and birds sounds like. They make the call cheep, cheep, cheep. Whew, said Splat. These chicks are quick. Look, he found the chick behind the apple. Splat looks lovely in his green shirt. And look at all those chicks, those silly little chicks. The end. Well, thank you, boys and girls, for joining us today for us reading this nice little book, Splat the Cack and the Quick Chicks. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I hope you have the chance to actually go and pet a little chick and see that they're really soft and fuzzy, and they really do say cheep, cheep, cheep. Thank you, everybody. We'll see you again. Bye, Undine. Bye, Olive. Bye, Linda. Bye, Shane, Ragni, and Samir, and Renee, and Matthew, and all the little boys and girls watching us today. Thank you very much. We'll see you again. And please remember to go back, see all the pictures, because they're really nicely drawn, and see how Splat and Seymour and all the cute little chicks and kittens were in the book. Thank you. Bye-bye.